Now on Central Illinois News Day, social media giant Facebook revisiting President Trump's ban, what the board decided. Then pension predicament, why Peoria received an F grade, and why a local state senator says it's an issue that needs addressed. Also,
cheesy, yup. Crispy, you bet. Easy to make, well, that's a given. Want to discover my new go-to snack? You can if you stick around.
Central Illinois News Day on WMVD starts now.
More Americans are hitting the road and gas prices are on the rise. At the same time, there are concerns gas deliveries could be slowed because of a trucker shortage. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us here on a CI News Day. I'm Rebecca Brumfield. According to adding to that problem, many driving schools shut down during the pandemic and then had to implement social distancing rules when they reopened.
We've had to schedule our training out farther because of the number of people that are allowed inside the truck.
A AAA spokesperson is saying there might be scattered shortages within the coming months, but it will still be easy to find gas and fill up. President Biden announcing he wants to see 70% of all American adults with at least one shot of the COVID-19 vaccine and 160 million adults to be fully vaccinated by the 4th of July. But to get there, the government is going to have to change how and where people go to get their shots. Skylar Henry has more details from the White House.
Now we're going to have to bring the vaccine to people who are less eager.
President Biden admits that vaccine hesitancy is the biggest stumbling block to achieving his goal of 160 million fully vaccinated Americans by the 4th of July. The administration is offering walk-in appointments at local pharmacies and expanding pop-up clinics to make it easier to get a shot.
We have vaccine available to 90% of the population within 5 miles of where they live. But we need to actually do more than that because some people can't get to 5 miles.
And they'll be offering incentives for people to get vaccinated as well.
Sports leagues like NASCAR, NFL, MLB, Major League Soccer are also joining the effort by offering ticket giveaways, in-stadium vaccination programs, and discounts on merchandise.
In addition to changing where people get vaccinated, the administration is also revising how it allocates vaccines to the states. 25 states are not currently ordering all of the vaccine doses available to them because of lower demand, and Arkansas didn't order any new doses last week. Now the government will be shifting those unused doses to places with more demand.
Although we are seeing progress in terms of decreased cases, hospitalizations, and deaths, variants are a wild card that could reverse this progress we have made and could set us back.
The CDC is warning of a possible surge in cases due to the new coronavirus strains, especially in areas with lower vaccination rates. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Well, today, a Facebook oversight board upheld former President Trump's ban on the social media platform. The company's board said it was, quote, not appropriate for Facebook to impose the indeterminate and standardless penalty of indefinite suspension. The social networking site suspended it in the wake of the January 6th Capitol Hill riot. Facebook must review the matter within 6 months. The Peoria mayoral race discovery recount requested by Jim Montalongo has been postponed to next Monday. According to the executive director of the Peoria Election Commission, it was supposed to happen Tuesday at 9 a.m. He says the request was expanded from the initial request of counting ballots, so they needed to have more time to collect the additional information. Well, Peoria, one of the 102 largest cities to receive a grade of F in a report about local pensions. The report finding pension costs are rising at the expense of local services like infrastructure and public safety. State Senator Wynn Stoller says this could not go on, calling for Republicans and Democrats to come together to solve the issue.
That's why people are leaving, because we are neglecting those important services. And the more we rob the resources from them just for this pension problem, because we continue to ignore it, the more people are going to leave our state.
And he says almost 100% of property taxes already go towards funding pensions. Well, summer right around the corner, and local pools are preparing for Memorial Day weekend to officially kick off the 2021 pool season. Both Fairview Aquatic Center and the Anderson Aquatic Center in Normal opening pools for the first time to the public in over a year. For safety concerns, Fairview will limit capacity to 300 guests and 150 guests at Anderson. The director of Normal's Public Works says they're stocked up on chlorine and are ready to open.
We're not staffing as many lifeguards as we have in the past, and part of that probably is that year off. You know, they're either found something else or whatever. But we're in good shape right now. We still have positions open if somebody's interested in applying, but we are in pretty good shape right now.
And he says masks will be required at check-in and indoors, with poolside chairs socially distanced from party to party. As COVID-19 limits visitations for patients, it means less interactions with loved ones in the hospital. Today, Central Illinoisans gathering to put smiles on children's faces. From Peoria police, firefighters, Bradley University cheerleaders, nurses, and sisters of the Third Order of St. Francis, members of the community gathering at Jump Trading Simulation and Education Center's parking lot, posters and hands to wave at kids. The goal to help bring cheer to OSF healthcare patients. One pediatric nurse saying right now the most interactions are done through FaceTime, so having an event like this makes them feel like they're not alone.
A lot of social interaction through electronic devices, so we're really grateful that we're in a time that we can have those for our patients. But just being able to actually see people out here today, I think it'll be really beneficial for them.
She says as of right now, support people like parents or guardians are allowed to visit, but hopeful that visitations will slowly return to normal.
You're watching Central Illinois Newsday with Rebecca Brumfield and meteorologist Molly Naslin with your local weather authority forecast. This is Central Illinois Newsday on WMBD.
For those ready to dig in and liven up their lawn and garden, it's time to roll up your sleeves and head to Blaine's Farm and Fleet, where we have everything you need to plant the perfect yard. Like these Fiskars garden tools, half off. Get 10% off all Longfield spring bulbs. All Livingston vegetable and flower seeds are 25% off MSRP. And Estate garden fertilizer is just $19.99. Plus, don't miss great gifts for Mother's Day, like half off women's Alfred Dunner fashion separates. Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Since starting Allegiant, we've flown more than 100 million passengers nonstop to visit the people and places that matter most. It's why we started Allegiant in the first place, and why we're committed to going the distance for health and safety. We go further so you can go farther, from where you are to where you want to be. Seeking out old friends or new places, we're here to help you find your piece of the sun. Book now for great deals.
Attention! This is an important message for all you grown-ups. Get the COVID vaccine. I miss my friends. This is the end of the message. I'm back. Not so fast. You can't return to a regular program yet. Not until you get the COVID vaccine. This for real is the end of my message. Safe care, your way. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter to this world. Okay, people, I have a list. Things to do when you get your COVID-19 vaccine. Play with friends again. In person. Exercise. Hug. Grandmas, cousins, aunts. Clean my room. Hula hoops with friends. Just do what you love. See your doctor so you're ready to get back out there. Safe care, your way. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
At Extreme, we know when your internet works, your life works. Living with unreliable internet or slow speeds is a hassle you can't afford. So don't just settle for subpar service. Get Extreme Internet and transform your whole home. Prices start at $19.99 a month for 1 year. You deserve fast, reliable internet. With Extreme, you can get speeds from 60 meg up to an amazing 1 gig. Right now, prices start at less than $20 a month for 1 year. Call us today, 844-EXTREME-2.
You're watching Central Illinois Newsday.
The death of a 6-year-old has caused Peloton to recall both its treadmill machines. The child's death along with more than 70 reports of injuries, were all connected to Peloton's Tread Plus and its treadmills. If you're a customer who owns the product, Peloton has said to immediately stop using them and contact the company for a full refund or, quote, another qualified remedy. According to a press release, the 6-year-old died after being pulled under the rear of the treadmill. Well, Sunday is a Mother's Day, and some Americans hope to rekindle their spending ways on her when 2020's coronavirus pandemic stifled much of the love. The National Retail Federation says Americans will spend $28 billion for Mother's Day at an average of more than $220 a gift. Flowers, greeting cards, and special outings are leading choices, and moms, get ready for this. Top choices from guys include clothing, jewelry, books, CDs, electronics, housewares, and gardening tools. Well, today is May 5th, a very important and exciting day for the Latino community. Cinco de Mayo, the holiday, commemorates a victorious battle against the French army in Mexico in 1862. It represents a day of hope for the community. The chair of the Greater Peoria Hispanic Chamber of Commerce says the holiday is often confused with Independence Day. She says the best way to celebrate Cinco de Mayo this year is to support Hispanic small business.
I think a lot of the small businesses have fought their own battles, and so any support from the community and showcasing our culture and supporting them, whether it's referring them or using a social media platform to recommend your favorite location, whether it's a restaurant, a bakery, a boutique, or a grocery store, is a great way to highlight, the local culture.
The Greater Peoria Hispanic Chamber of Commerce estimates the Hispanic population in Peoria to be about 12% and growing. Today, it's launching its website as well as all new branding. And many companies are celebrating the holiday. A number of businesses have sales on Cinco de Mayo. Chipotle brought back ChipotleIQ.com till May 7th, where you can answer some trivia for the chance to win buy one, get one coupons. Chili's is offering a ton of $5 drink deals from the Presidente to the Cuervo Blue. You can head over to Moe's for 5 times the amount of reward points, and it's a special deal if you sign up as a new member. You can check out your favorite restaurants online to see if they have any sales. And nothing beats some bite-sized delights filled with cheesy goodness. Howard shares the delicious recipe you can prepare for your snack plate.
I'll admit it, I love cheese. So when Patty from the Test Kitchen weaved it into this recipe, you bet I was intrigued. Recently, she came up with these crispy cheddar bites that I am hooked on. If you got a minute, I'd love to show you how easy they are. We start by grabbing a mixing bowl and combining some softened butter, a good amount of flour, some crispy rice cereal, a bunch of shredded cheddar cheese, a little salt, and a pinch of ground red pepper. Now, with a wooden spoon, we mix it together until it forms a soft dough. It's the combo of the cheese and the butter that holds these together, and that'll make them so good. Now, we roll these into balls, so they're about the size of golf balls, and place them on a couple of baking sheets. Just make sure you leave enough room between them so when you flatten them, they don't run into each other. Now, all we do is pop these in the oven for 10 minutes or so, and they're done. Who would think something this simple could be so darn good? And when it comes to serving them, they're just as at home on a cheese board as they are floating on a bowl of tomato soup. To get the recipe for our crispy cheddar bites, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an unexpectedly cheddary way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
And as Howard mentioned, if you'd like to get the full recipe for crispy cheddar bites, it's on our website, CIProud.com right now. Just click on the Mr. Food tab under News. Well, coming up, another chance for rain is on the way for parts of the region, but clear skies right now. Meteorologist Molly Naisland has your weather forecast when we come back.
We all have one thing.
One thing.
One thing in common. We're all afraid.
Afraid of the dentist. Yep. until we heard of Total Dental Care in Pekin.
Total Dental Care.
Fear, gone.
Anxiety, gone. Sedation dentistry was my answer.
Total Dental Care in Pekin.
It couldn't have been easier.
No more fear.
And way more smiles.
Sedation dentistry is for me.
Total Dental Care in Pekin.
My no fear, no anxiety dentist.
Tired of risking a fall climbing in and out of that old bathtub? Wouldn't you rather have a shower that's safe and inviting? Since 2001, homeowners from Galesburg to Gibson City have trusted Bath Planet of Central Illinois for easy access baths and showers installed in as little as 1 day. With a custom tub to shower conversion, you simply walk in and take a seat. Plus, Bath Planet products have earned the Good Housekeeping seal, which offers a 2-year money-back warranty. Now, during our 20th anniversary sale, take $2,001 off your new bath or shower. Ask about 18 months, no interest, no payments, senior and military discounts, plus a bonus $200 Target gift card with purchase. And call during this program for a free $25 Starbucks gift card with your free in-home estimate. Ask about Bath Planet's Do More discount and get half off a second bathroom project. Choose from a full line of safety products from walk-in tubs to barrier-free showers with grab bars and mounted handhelds. Bath Planet has thousands of satisfied customers.
Saw the Bath Planet ad on TV, give them a call, and we've liked the experience completely.
They did do the job as quick as they said they would.
And they cleaned up after themselves, which was really nice.
Bring your bathroom up to date with a new tub to shower conversion with premium patterns like Valencia granite and travertine, guaranteed to never crack, chip, or discolor. In business since 2001, it's our 20th anniversary sale. Take $2,001 off a new bath or shower, 18 months no interest and no payments, plus a bonus $200 Target gift card with purchase. And call during this program for a free $25 Starbucks gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 309-408-0200. That's 309-408-0200.
The Storm Tracker Network, brought to you by Linco Precision Ag Technology Solutions.
Now, your local weather authority forecast with meteorologist Molly Naslund.
Good afternoon, Central Illinois. Lots of sunshine in Peoria on our American Pest Control camera. We do have some cloud cover on the way. The good news is that is going to hold off until overnight tonight. Temperatures are right around the mid-60s area-wide. A couple of cool spots left over from this morning. Otherwise, though, a pretty pleasant afternoon, and it really does feel a lot like spring. Sunshine for the rest of the afternoon, but as we head on into this evening, that is going to change. Clouds and some showers are on the way for late tonight and into early tomorrow morning. The good news, we're really only seeing scattered showers in the forecast throughout the day on Thursday. By the time we head on into Thursday morning, we're just dealing with clouds, and then we see another stray chance for rain into Thursday afternoon. Overall chances, though, are going to stay on the lower side. We also have a slight cool down expected because of an approaching cold front. Now, while all of Illinois is in this darker shade of green, that does not mean that we're going to see a lot of rain. It actually just means we're having a better chance for rain. Our chances for rain on Thursday are about 40%. Scattered showers, that's the whole day. We're not going to see a lot of heavy rainfall or widespread rain. And then we get to take a break from it on Friday. A high pressure system is being pushed out the rest of the afternoon. Clouds in that low pressure system will move in along with those scattered showers. We'll take a break from the rainfall as we go Thursday and into Friday with some instances of clear skies expected, but a lot of cloud cover going to be likely to stick around throughout the day on Friday. The weekend, unfortunately, is not going to cooperate a whole lot as we head on into the weekend. There's a stray chance for rain early Saturday morning. Meanwhile, clouds Saturday morning, then showers Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Overnight temperatures down into the upper 40s and low 50s. This is when our cloud cover will increase, but it'll overall just be a cooler night. Temperatures in the low 60s tomorrow, but we'll see a chance for some scattered showers in a few locations throughout the day. Then we head on into Mother's Day weekend, where unfortunately we're going to be waking up to a few showers on Sunday, but Sunday afternoon is smooth sailing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Get
15% off Wednesday only at The Room Place. 15% off living rooms, dining, bedrooms, and mattresses. Plus, get 5 years, no interest. 15% off your entire purchase. Wednesday only at The Room Place. Amazing furniture, amazing prices.
No cavities. We'll see you in 6 months. Bye-bye.
Hi, Just Kids. We're going to need to schedule another appointment.
Life is always sweeter at Sweet Basil Cafe with big gourmet breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, including omelets, meatloaf sundaes, paninis, and more. Don't forget the all-new smoothie bar. Enjoy the sweet life at Sweet Basil Cafe.
Most Americans are not prepared for retirement. They simply hope the money they'll need for retirement will be there when the time comes. So we created Easy 401k. Easy 401k is our answer to help people achieve all of their financial goals and dreams, and to give you the advice that you need to confidently make the investment decisions inside your 401k. Investing has never been easier. Start your free trial today.
Throughout your life, no one has made more meals than your mother. This Mother's Day, return the favor with help from Allin & Sons Meat Company. Your mom deserves the best. From our meat case and deli, Allin & Sons on War Memorial Drive or online at allinandsons.com.
Get 15% off Wednesday only at The Room Place. 15% off living rooms, dining, bedrooms, and mattresses. Plus, get 5 years, no interest. 15% off your entire purchase. Wednesday only at The Room Place. Amazing furniture, amazing prices.
The following segment may contain sponsored content paid for by advertisers. The opinions and views expressed belong to their sponsors and not those of Nexstar Broadcasting Incorporated, this station, or their affiliates or employees. You're watching Central Illinois Newsday.
We'll take a look at this. It's Wrigley tradition to throw the other team's home run balls back onto the field. And this dad helped his little kid throw a Dodgers homer back last night. It was the Dodgers' only run of the game. Well, PBS Kids is readying a new puppet-led series called Donkey Hody, inspired from characters in the original Fred Rogers TV show. The whimsical series for children ages 3 to 5 starts airing Monday and centers on the adventures of Donkey Hody, an enthusiastic yellow donkey with a bright magenta mane. She's the granddaughter of the donkey puppet Rogers created back when TV shows were in black and white. The new series is metaphorically connected by a cobblestone path to both the animated Daniel Tiger's neighborhood and the mothership Mr. Rogers neighborhood. The creators chose to go with puppets instead of an animation because of their expressive nature. And Uber teams up with an all-electric car company for its own car. The ride-hailing company will partner with Arrival, which makes electric vehicles. How the car looks and fully operates aren't yet known, but Uber says driver and passenger comfort are top priorities, and a rendering of it resembles a pod-like vehicle with a roomy backseat area. Well, Apple's latest gadget means you might never lose your stuff again. Rich DeMuro goes hands-on with the AirTag in today's Tech Smart.
Apple's new AirTag has a simple premise. You attach one to your stuff, and your phone, with nearly 1 billion other devices, will help you find it. So how does it work? Let's see. That's the sound of Apple's latest gadget, the AirTag. It's a $29 device you attach to stuff in hopes of locating it later. It's meant for items and not people or pets. The tiny tags have a replaceable battery inside that lasts about a year. You can link up to 16 of them to an Apple account. Just hold it next to an iPhone and give it a name.
There are no monthly fees, and although they don't come with a way to attach themselves to your keys or backpack, there are already lots of accessories to help you do just that.
There are 3 ways the AirTag can help you find your item. First, with just a sound. If that's not enough, an iPhone 11 or 12 can guide you to a nearby tag with the direction and how far away it is. Then there's the Find My network, which harnesses the power of nearly 1 billion Apple gadgets. Basically, when any Apple device detects your tag, it will anonymously update its location on your map.
It's a powerful device, and Apple knows some people might use it to track other people, which is why your iPhone will let you know if one seems to be following you.
It will also let out an audible chirp after a while. Of course, these precautions aren't perfect. People will likely find ways to exploit these safeguards. Overall, AirTags have the potential to help us keep track of all kinds of stuff. Their power lies in their crowdsourcing, simplicity, long battery life, and a solid network to help locate them. So just how easy is it to find an AirTag? Well, if they're nearby, it's pretty easy. You can use a sound, that precision finding feature, or see their last location on a map. But remember, there's no GPS or cellular here, so that leaves out real-time tracking. So if this device is further away from you, it could take a bit longer to locate. All right, if you want to learn more about the AirTag, you can go to my website. It is richontech.tv. I'm Rich DeMuro, and you are Tech Smart.
Stock up during the big cereal sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Hy-Vee.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's right. Republicans and Democrats pressed the education secretary on the back-to-school issue, and he told them he
on Scott's products.
Back by popular demand. When you shop Furniture Row, you pay what we pay. That's right. For a limited time, our employee pricing is available to everyone. Get 15% off any single item when you spend $9.99 or more. That means you can save big on that perfect sofa, dining table, bed, or Denver Mattress brand mattress.
Our discount is your discount.
Plus 5 years no interest and free shipping. But hurry, employee pricing at Furniture Row ends Thursday.
Not everyone is destined to be an elite athlete, but for those with chronic knee pain, performing even the simplest task can be a challenge. Thankfully, ICPR has a solution. Proven up to 90% effective, ICPR's knee arthritis program delivers medicine to the exact point it's needed most. Now you can play harder, run faster, live fuller.
Limit the pain, not the activity. There's nothing like your natural knee.
Call for a free consultation.
Stock up during the big cereal sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Hy-Vee. General Mills cereal, just $1.49. Kellogg's cereal, just $1.49. And Post cereal, just $1.49. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Hy-Vee.
You're watching Central Illinois Newsday.
Well, the wine is out of this world and the price is appropriately stratospheric. The SpaceX Dragon cargo capsule has returned to Earth with some unusual items on board. It was carrying 12 bottles of Bordeaux wine as well as 320 snippets of Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon grapevines. They had been sent into space a year earlier to determine how they would develop outside the Earth's atmosphere and better understand the aging process. The Christie auction house, who is selling the wine, thinks the connoisseur might pay as much as $1 million to own it. Well, Chris, Mark, are you guys winos? Would you pay $1 million to own space wine?
I don't think so.
No,
Would you?
no.
And the question is, if you do pay for it, then do you drink it or do you just let it sit there?
Right. I'd put it under lock and key.
Well, if we're going to explore space, we better make sure wine can grow on Mars.
Yeah, as long as we have alcohol with us wherever we go, we're just fine.
The important things.
Yes.
All right, coming up at 4 o'clock, we'll take you live to Washington, D.C. and tell you how the president wants to get all kids all around the country back in school. Plus, guns and marijuana selling like crazy in Illinois. We'll tell you the totals on those. And autonomous cars coming to an area very close to us.
Uh-oh. I'm intrigued. And we have a little bit of rain that's going to be coming very close to us as well. I'll have that latest forecast and who's going to see the most of it coming up in just a bit.
Chris, Mark, thanks. WMVD News at 4 starts now.
Now your forecast first, sponsored by St. Mary's School of Kickapoo. Pre-K through 8th grade enrollment is going on now.